Thank you for your pledge on Patreon. Tanisha Miller.
Hey, yo, Flip.
Yo.
I'm going to put you on to some fire, man. They got this new beard wash company. They got the lotion and the everything.
What's their name?
They got a recovery room.
What's the name?
Maestro's Classic.
G-Money's up front.
I'll put you on.
I've been with you on the Maestro's, sure? Man. You forgot where I brought you? You forgot where I brought you up there?
Oh, man.
You forgot about Ghost?
All right. What's his name?
Ghost. You know again?
He cool, man. Ghost is cool, man.
Yo, make sure you get your Maestro's Classic beard care products today at Target, CVS, or go on maestrosclassic.com and use the promo code QueensFlip to get 10% off.
10%, that's it? I thought it was free if you put your...
Are you crazy?
All right, I get it.
Make sure you go there today. Log on maestroswithas.com. I'm from Queens. G-Money!
Yo.
What's up, man?
What's good?
How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. You know, shout the Maestro's one time.
Oh, man.
Nah, I can't shout Maestro's out.
You can. Those are the sponsors. Shout out to the sponsors, man.
The sponsors Flip the Script or just Queens Flip?
Flip the Script. We look at Maestro. Look at all this type of stuff on me. Long day.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying? Double feature.
But
you change your clothes, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened when a nigga getting money.
Nah, it's just,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, corny shit. Yeah, what's up with you, man?
I can't change up. It's different. It's different episode.
Yeah.
Supposedly this is a whole other day. They don't know it's two in the same. You know what I'm saying?
You know how it go.
They don't know what's going on up here.
How you feeling?
I'm alright. Good.
Tired. Good.
I fake had to work out this morning, so.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I'm fake tired right now.
Yeah.
But we here though. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man.
You ready for your flight? You good? You packed up and all that?
Nah, I'm about to tell homie you gotta put the phone down like 4 seconds. I just, I give the lot time to record. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know, man, I like it, my man. What's your name? C? Yeah, my man C. I don't talk deep like that. You mean, yeah, what's up, C, man? How you doing? Where you get the name C from? Streets. I like this guy. Yeah, but we about to laugh. Don't laugh, man. I'm gonna talk to everybody, man. I love everybody in here, man. Huh? It's gonna be a dope episode. Cause I'm ready to turn the fire up.
I see it's a whole different energy now.
Yeah. I'm ready to. Cause I had to,
last episode we had to keep it chill.
Yeah. Yo, that was, Ojo's side. That was touching.
Shout out to Jazzy Joyce, man.
To be misunderstood, man. You know what I'm saying? People judge you because they think you being mean and stuff, but you really suffering. That was crazy. That hit me different, man.
I didn't know she was going through the stuff she was going through.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I heard that she was mean before, as I'm saying, but then she acknowledged it and said, "Yo, I was going through this." So that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But I want to get straight into it.
Let's do it.
G-Money.
Yo.
We're going back to the old
intro. I'm cool with that. Somebody said we should extend the numbers and then just go, we made it like episode 131, we made it. I was like, I don't know. That's probably the best idea they had, though, online. All the other stuff was trash.
I like Mama, we made it. Nah, that's right.
Nah, I like the number joint. If not that, then we got to go back to the original one.
Episode 133. Nigga, we made it. We back at Nigga, we made it. Huh? We got a special guest.
Yes.
Huh? Coming here. You know what I'm saying? Come here 17 deep.
Uh-oh.
Man.
I'm lying. Came in here with the homies, showing love. Rapper. One of the greats. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people consider him at the time, I gotta, do my research now, but we can't take no credit from him.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in that pain, putting in that work. Round of applause for my man J Hood. J Hood in the building. What up, man?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
I'm just happy to finally be here. Man.
Yeah, well, happy to. Yeah. You know how you do.
Man, look, there we go.
Okay.
Out the
pull
gate.
Pull the mic a little closer to you, man.
I hold that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were supposed to get up before. You know what I mean? I was supposed to pull up.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Introduce your comrades that's in the building.
It's my bro Stick right here. You know what I mean?
Stick, what up, man?
STIWK. It's the homie C over here and the other homie Tree.
Tree, what's up, man? How y'all doing? Y'all good? I want to salute y'all, man, for taking that ride, man. I ain't going to say from where, man. It's none of my business. You have to say it for yourselves, man.
We had to pull up a Flip.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
No doubt.
That's a fact.
That's love. So, where's J Hood originally from? Where you from? Born and raised?
Originally, I'm from North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, I moved up to New York when I was like 13.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so I could say I'm, I consider myself a New Carolinian.
New Carolina.
Yeah, it's like when you're from North Cac, but you was raised in New York. You know what I mean? So,
what's the biggest difference you think between out there and over here, in New York?
Present day, or you just talking about in general?
Nah.
I mean, besides it being like New York obviously being faster.
Right.
You know what I mean? But aside from that, I mean, you know, everything that goes on here goes on
Same
there.
here.
You know what I mean? Like basically everywhere. You know what I mean? So
What was it like down there growing up for you as a kid from you know from born to 13? Like what kind of stuff you got into?
I was just always into. I was actually into art. I went to a school of performing arts. I wanted to be an architect. My uncle was one of the top 10 architects in the United States, so I'm following his footsteps, be an architect. But the art took a backseat to the music. I started doing the music. I was actually supposed to be signed at 11 years old to EMI Records, but I had to turn down the deal because my mom found out that I would be missing school and all that, so she wasn't totally for that.
Wasn't with it. She
Yeah,
said,
so
nah.
I had to turn that down. But I mean, to answer your question, it was just, you know, basically the art and music.
So you grew up both parents in the household?
Nah, just my mother.
Just your mom's?
My mother, my older brother, my two younger sisters.
Where was your father at?
It was a kind of different situation with my father, man. He's at the time I wasn't really dealing with him. Like he was in my life, but not so much. Like, you know what I mean? Like he would send funds every now and then, but he had a whole other life. You know what I mean? Like that my mother wasn't trying to interfere with. Because this is the thing. It happens. It's life. My father used to own a radio station. You know what I mean? In North Carolina. My mother was like a big DJ at the time in Wilmington, North Carolina. He was married, and he was also, actually to this day, he's one of the top 2 most decorated black Marines ever. You know what I mean? So he was married. Him and his wife were separated at the time, and you know how that go. You know what I mean? Like, my mother was an employee.
Well, let me tell you something. First of all, what we not gonna do? Don't come here to my. You wasn't rocking with him at the time. You were too young to be deciding who was rocking with. Man.
Nah, I mean,
I wasn't rocking with him.
Nah,
at
you
the
know
time.
what it was. Nah,
because 3 years
Nah,
old.
I wasn't
you
3.
Decision?
Anybody that know this, look.
Yo, don't ever do that on here.
Anybody that know
Yo,
hood.
I'm trying to let you rock.
Listen, anybody that know hood, they know of a song called Deadbeat Dad.
Okay.
And in that song, I expressed the way I felt about him. So,
I ain't got no.
yeah, I wasn't really rocking with him like that. You know what I mean? Like, due to what my mother was telling me. Like,
So would you don't mind getting any details, do you? Or is it a little too personal?
we all good now. I'm grown, so you know.
Okay.
it's a little different.
So wait, so you young? When did you see him? Like, was he around, or you saw him like? Because I know those situations.
I seen him a handful of times. You know what I mean? Because my mother, I'm not gonna lie, she kept it a million. You know what I mean? She never wanted to jeopardize his life or tell his wife what was going on.
That's fire.
Or do nothing like that. He was living in a $500,000 home while we was in the P's and shit like that. But she never, you know, went out of the limb and threw him under the bus and nothing like that. So it was just a delicate situation.
And why you think Mama Love didn't do that?
I mean, my mother was different, man. You know what I mean? Like, he told me one time, too, because actually he had his gallbladder burst last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down to North Carolina to look after him. So, like I said, it's a crazy situation. I went down there and stayed with him for about 9 months, make sure he was good, because he's a little older. He just turned 82. So, you know, his wife was gone. His other son is gone, so he has, like, nobody. So I went down there, looked after him and stuff like that. But and he told me, he was like, yo, you know, one day me and your mother was talking, and, you know, she told me I'd go down before I ever let you go down.
She cut from different cloth, man.
Yeah, so that basically summed everything up for me right there.
And when you say his wife is gone, was she moved on? She passed away?
Yeah, she passed away. So.
And his older son as well?
He passed away as well, yeah.
Okay, so how many children did he have, including you?
Just 2.
So Mama Love decided to go through the ringer. She didn't want to bring him down or nothing.
Facts.
And you said she was a DJ.
Yeah, she was a
female DJ.
Yeah, she was a big DJ at the time in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Nice.
They used to call her Boss Lady. She had a nice little, you know, run down there.
And your father, so the handful of times you saw him, he owned the radio station. He was the boss.
Yeah, he owned it. Yeah.
Typical shit. Typical, you know what I mean? And you had a conversation with him. You checked him. You let him know how you felt. Did you ever had those? Like, do you feel like your life should have been different or would have been different if he was more involved?
I mean, you know how it go. It could have been different, but the way it was supposed to be, it is. You know what I mean? So I can't like sit there and be like, you know what, it was supposed to be this way, or if you would have been there, it would have been different. Like, can't dwell on that. Although I did have that conversation with him, you know what I mean? Because I think that's just something that would happen naturally with anybody. You know what I mean? If they got the opportunity to converse with their father after not being able to do something like that in a number of years. You know what I mean?
Sure. Respect.
So down south, were you like a bad kid or you were a good kid growing up, or?
I tell you what, man. If I wouldn't have let girls get in my mind, I would have probably went to college and all that. You know what I mean? Like I was real popular, like even from junior high. I was like the class clown. You know what I mean? So it was always about that. I got caught up.
Got you. Yeah. So what made y'all come down to New York? Come up to New York?
To be honest with you, man, it's like some real movie type of shit. You know what I mean? Like anytime I tell some people this, I have to like really like sit down and like look at it for its totality, like, and just be like, yo, this is really crazy. My mom, she believed in my dream that much that she was like, you know what? Like, although we basically packing up and just moving on a limb, I will take that chance of moving to New York because I feel like you would have a greater opportunity of you reaching your dreams versus you staying down here. So we moved up top. Yeah, we ended up living in a shelter for about 6 months until, you know, we got everything together, and then we ended up moving to Mount Vernon, New York, and then we moved to Yonkers.
How old were you when you moved to New York?
About 13, 12.
So, and you started doing music. When you started doing music, and what made you find a love for music?
I mean, my older brother was a hip hop head. You know what I mean? Like I used to just like any younger brother, man. They want to emulate their older brother. I used to see him, you know, just the stuff that he used to listen to, the tapes that he used to play, and he just introduced me to hip hop, and I just took a liking to it. You know what I mean? Listening to the Outkast tapes, to Boot Camp joints, the Helter Skelter tapes, the Wu-Tang joints, Nas. You know what I mean? Like Scarface. You know what I mean? Goody Mob, if I ain't say them already, man, you know. So all type of stuff like that, and I just took a liking to it.
And you started writing?
Yeah. Probably about 10.
Do you remember your first rap?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, cause you got, let me guess, you got a lot of balls and stuff, right?
What I will tell you is I had a lot of whack names. I think just like any other rapper, you know, you go through your phases and shit like that.
What was your first, what you used to call yourself before?
MC Flames was one of the names. That shit was extra whack. You know, you go through those phases.
Yo, MC Flames.
What?
MC Flames was the super duper garbage.
What was another one? Give me another one. Gotta be another one.
J Love.
J Love.
But the thing is, J Love, it was JLUV. You know what I mean? It was short for my love for spitting. You know what I mean? Even though that was whack too, but
Yeah.
but I was still dumping with the name J Love though. You feel me? So it was like, how you got the name J Love and you out here flaming shit? It really didn't balance.
So were you battling out there and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
like you were battling? Were you into the battling thing? Or you just writing records?
You talking about being in New York or the time in North Carolina?
No, in North Carolina. Were you...
North Carolina, I wasn't really battling that much because I was just really like, you know, getting the feel for music. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really start battling until I got to New York when you had to battle.
When did moms realize that you were really talented? Like what moment did she see you and was like, okay, nah, my son got something?
It was probably I think probably when we did our first Source photo shoot. It was probably around that time. I think like she knew a little before, like, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I was supposed to get signed at 11 years old. So once she seen the A&R from EMI Records approach her with that, you know, it kind of caught her attention.
Yeah,
there.
but you say you was get signed 11 years old. How they heard about you again?
Because I was at the talent show, and my uncle was a bouncer at the talent show. I mean, at the club that the talent show was at.
NT.
Yeah, so she was there in attendance. She seen me perform, and you know, I ain't gonna lie, the little nigga had charisma and all that. It was different, you know what I mean? Like I was up top, I was feeling myself. I had the gear was whack as hell. I'm not gonna front. I had on the big ass goddamn Tommy Hilfiger vest.
Oh man.
with the long ass shorts with the Reeboks. You know what I mean? I thought I was styling. That shit was dummy whack. And it wasn't even the real Tommy shit. It was the Tommy with the big ass, the big dragon on it. Whatever the fuck the shit is, the lion.
You know what's crazy? The other day I was cleaning my closet out. I found some clothes from like back in whatever, like 05, 06. That shit is like big on me now. Still.
I just posted something about that on the gram today. I was looking through a bunch of old flicks. I said, yo, the baggy era is disgusting.
Oh my god. Yeah. Baggy pants, baggy jackets, baggy hoodies.
3X.
3X.
Yo, I'm looking at the hoodies. I'm like, yo,
tees.
Yeah.
I'm looking like I got a 3X hoodie on. I'm like, well, this is crazy. Why nobody told me nothing?
So Mama Love said, let's go to New York. So you go to New York. You moved to Mount. How long you lived in Mount Vernon for?
Probably about a month.
A month.
But I was always back and forth in Mount Vernon though. Like it's a different thing with me in Mount Vernon. It's like I'm from Yonkers, but I'm from Mount Vernon too. So, you know.
Mount Vernon. What school you went to out there? Like, cause you a month then you go to Yonkers. But what school you used to go
Okay,
to?
the thing with Yonkers, see, I gotta get into this, right? Just to put everything into perspective.
Please do.
All right, when I first moved to New York, after we got situated in Mount Vernon, you know, for the people that rap, they might be aware of who this person is that I'm about to name. For the people that don't rap, not so much. But it's a guy by the name of Jay Arms. You know what I mean? Like he made a lot of instrumental CDs. You know what I mean? Like, so as soon as I got to New York, he was who I connected with, and I produced a demo with him. I recorded like no lie about 55 to 60 songs. You know what I'm saying? Right in New Rochelle. That's right beside Mount Vernon. So we recorded there. And so I was familiar with the studio before I met these guys, so that kind of like gave me a little edge. But okay, now back to the original question, what you had just asked me. What you had said?
Arms usually had that thing of arms.
Jay
right?
Arms.
Yeah. And
I used to be tight because I was trying to get the instrumentals with certain joints and his tag was on it.
Facts.
yeah, he was smart. He was smart.
I used to be tight.
You. So how you met him? How you got up with him?
Jay Arms?
Because what year was this?
Probably about maybe beginning of
Probably
MySpace
the
days.
very beginning of MySpace. I'm not too sure how I got up with him though. I think I was introduced to him somehow.
Interesting. So you about what, 13?
Right.
Introduced to Arms, or you told me you got 60 songs with him, or you did like 60 records or freestyles. So it was complete records, or like freestyles and joints.
Complete records.
What did Arms do? He produced?
Yeah, he produced with a guy by the name of Neil. So, you know, it was both of them at the time. It was a production team.
Name?
They got me familiar with recording, you know what I mean? Just showing me the whole process, you know, the structure of songs and all that type of stuff. Actually, a lot of those songs got leaked out as soon as I started generating the buzz, you know, with the locks.
What school you went to out there?
Okay, yeah, that was the question. In Yonkers, the question was I went to a school by the name of Burroughs. I got expelled from there for something stupid. I had to get a tutor. Then I ended up going to Roosevelt High School out there.
What you got expelled for?
The teacher,
He tried to go past that like he ain't think
yeah, I mean, you know, cause the teacher tried to say that I put hands on her and all that. She tried to like grab me up, and I told her like get off me type shit. You feel me? So I got up, and I just like brushed her hands off me type. You know what I mean? And she said I hit her type shit, so they kicked me
You're
out.
lying. You hit her.
That's real shit.
You hit her.
They kicked me out for that. You know, if you even touch anybody that
That's true. That's true.
a worker, yeah, they cry. You hit me and it's
He
over.
put his hands up over it. Yeah, they go crazy.
Kicked me out. Got a tutor. So I go into high school the next year there, Roosevelt High School. Got kicked out of there. So I ended up going to Mount Vernon High in a whole nother city. I had family out there. I used their address. Went to Mount Vernon High.
Kicked out of there.
So when I first met him, this been my best friend for 20 years right here. So I met him. I got kicked out of Mount Vernon High that year.
Beating the more teachers, huh?
Nah, it wasn't that. I was just like, this is when I was dealing with the popularity thing and just, and it was too much. We were just doing a lot of stupid shit though, like, you know what I mean? It was crazy, but I got kicked out of there. Double back, came back the next year, got kicked out. Went to the alternative school, Mandela. First day I went to Mandela, I forgot I had the Hawk on me in my pocket. Went through the metal detector. They tried to call the Jakes on me, tried to wait here, the police coming. I'm like, all right, back. Dipped on them, never came back, and that was all she wrote for that.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I just ended up getting my GED.
So, Tell us about what age you met the Locks.
Like 14.
14. Who introduced you to them?
It's a crazy story. But,
Yo, stop.
It is. Because I can't just answer it with a simple answer. You know what I mean? Because if I be
Toy
like, yo,
Story is a
I
great
introduce
story.
myself to them, you'd be like, how? But that's the way it happened. So it's like a long story.
Take your time.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you something that I probably never told nobody in the interview. Before I even met them, it led up to me meeting them. But when I was living in the shelter, because remember I told you I moved in the shelter coming from North Carolina.
First, yeah.
My mother befriended a lady there, and I found out. Well, actually, she told me the woman was Mace's mother's best friend. She was from Harlem too. She ended up telling us where Mace's mother lived at, and it just so happened that Mace's mother had a house in Mount Vernon. I ended up going to Mace's mother's house with my demo because I was like a big Mace fan at the time. Mace was like that dude, so
He was fire.
I was rocking my fitted caps, like him over my eyebrows, all like, you know what I mean? Like I was like a Mace head. I ain't gonna front. Pulled up to the crib with my demo, knocked at the door. She came out like, who the hell are you? Like I'm like, look, man, you know, I'm a fan. I just wanted to, you know, give you my CD to get to your son and all that other type of shit. So nothing ended up happening from that. Moved to Yonkers. I wasn't too familiar with the Locks. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm from North Carolina. So, but I did like hear about a group from there being signed to Puff. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do some research. Let me see if I can find these dudes. I hear that they be out here. So let me see what's up. And I didn't live too far from there where they supposedly hung at. So one day I took it upon myself to go to Sheik's house. At the time, Sheik lived with his uncle. They were still in the hood type shit. So I went down to his crib. I found out where he lived at. And anybody that's watching this, don't take this approach because it won't work these days. I don't advise you to do this. But I went to his crib with my demo and a flyer. Sheik wasn't there. His uncle answered the door. And he like, yo, who are you? I introduced myself and told him, you know, why I was there. He was looking at me like I was crazy, but he respected it though.
At the time, you were still J Love at the time, or you J
Yeah,
Hood now?
J Love. But I was always J Hood because low key because my last name is Hood, but I just didn't, you know, accept the name at the time. Yeah, but I gave him the demo. Nothing came about from that. So I found out where they hung at. I end up going there, but like it was weird because I didn't say nothing to them when I first seen them. I seen them like standing in front of the store, and I like stood on the other side of the store, just sitting there in the front, just like 20 feet away from everybody, until somebody just looked over. They kept looking like, yo, know this nigga? They like, yo, who is this? Like, so you know what I mean? Like,
By yourself too? You by yourself?
by myself, dolo. Like, you know what I mean?
Just sitting there.
Yeah, they like, yo, who the fuck is this little nigga right here? Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? I seen this little nigga at the basketball court when we over there. Now I seen him in the front of the store. Like, anybody know this nigga? They like, nah. So I forgot who came up to me, but I think Busy came up to me. He like, yo, what's up, man? Who you? I'm like, Jay. Nigga Luch was like, Jay. I'm like, yeah. He like, what's good with you? Who you? Like that, where you from and all that other type of shit. So I started explaining who I was and all that type of shit. But I ended up jumping in the cypher in the front of 354 like one day, and you know they heard me, and SP advised me to go to the Rough Rider studio. You know what I mean? Because at the time they used to call it the dungeon. Everybody used to go there to spit. You know what I mean? Like people from everywhere, like Philly, Baltimore, New Orleans, like anywhere that has anybody that claimed to spit, they came there to dump. So I used to go there all the time after P told me to go there. I used to battle cats like Cassidy, Larceny when he was in the group. Like all types of people was there. Like, you know what I mean? So that was cool for me. I was actually supposed to be signed to Rough Riders before we started the D Block thing. But I didn't because we started that movement. But after a while, they just took a liking to me because I guess they seen the ambition and they seen the hunger, and you know, I was just a little different.
So you were so you saw them and they asked you who you are. Now you rocking with them, basically, until you go to Rough Riders. You was battling. You battled Cassidy. Who was your hardest battle out there?
I mean, probably Cass, cause it was ill because I used to be in a group, You know what I mean? And like in the group that I was in, I used to always be the dude with the most bars. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody would run out of rhymes, and I used to like have infinite rhymes, like for days and days and days. So, and that's how Cass was. It'd just be like me and him at the end type shit, just going for hours and hours and hours and hours type shit. And then like other dudes used to be in there, and we used to just be going at it. But me and Cass and Lawson, we definitely used to go in.
So what's next now from there? What's next?
From where?
From like so now like what's next?
For me?
Yeah.
I got a project called Pesci coming out independently through my imprint.
No.
What you talking about?
Why would we jump? Yo, give me my
Yeah, that's what I'm
shoes.
saying. I'm like, what you mean? What's next? Like,
Nah,
what?
what's next from nigga? Follow the timeline, huh?
I'm like, yo, dog.
The hell?
Hey, all right, look. So, yeah, you feel me? All right, so
That boy's ready.
so this is what happened. Now we Sheik and his best friend and my former manager, we were sitting at Sheik's best friend house one day, and we came up with the idea to start a movement, obviously, which is the D Block movement. At the time, we didn't have the name, but we just, came up with the idea to start the movement. And, they told me what my position would be. Later, SP and Kiss came aboard. You know what I mean? So we started, like, doing freestyles to distribute to different DJs and stuff like that. And, early in the game, I was screaming Locks Entertainment because we didn't have a name figured out. And then we finally, came up with a name.
But you wasn't signed to them yet, right? You didn't sign.
Nah, I didn't sign any yet.
Okay.
I wasn't officially.
So you and Sheik started, or
Right.
the D Block came from you and Sheik, basically.
Right. It's like, so, being young, I didn't see the importance of embracing an actual title, like a co-founder, because in all actuality, that's what I was. You know what I mean?
What makes you a co-founder?
Because what I just elaborated on, I was there from the start of it. We sat there and came up with the idea to form this movement. Your position is going to be this. So if someone is there from the actual start of something, I would say that they're a co-founder of that, especially if they contributed to, to the blocks that it took to build this.
Interesting.
So I don't see myself as like an artist that came somewhere after it was already established. You know what I'm saying?
And you and Sheik came up with the idea, and that's what it was. But you didn't have the name. You just elaborated on that.
We didn't have the name at the time.
We didn't have the name. Both of y'all. Got it. So, Kiss and Styles come on board.
Right.
But y'all don't have a name yet.
The name came after everybody sat and just brainstormed about a couple names, and P threw the D Block thing out there, and that's what stuck. So once that stuck, everybody sat down collectively and was like, yo, this is what we gonna do. Kiss is the most popular out of the three, so this is your job. You gonna do this, you gonna do this, da da da. Low key is really Lucha shit though. You feel what I'm saying? But when they come together collectively and
Yeah, shit.
yeah, you feel me? So
It's funny. So don't squint your eyes, nigga. No, let me put my laptop down so you can look at me directly in my eyes, man. Be squinting there. I'm right here. You can see me straight. So you came up with the joint. Y'all came up with it collectively. Those two come on board. Now what happens next from there? He comes up with the name D Block. What happens next?
we started to execute the plan that we made. You feel what I'm saying? We started
Flood the market.
recording freestyles,
Yeah.
distributing them to the DJs. We started seeing the outcome, you know what I mean, of what we was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we like, you know what, this is crazy. Let's keep it up. After a while, what ended up happening was, because the underlying plan was to put enough material out to generate a big enough buzz to get a distribution deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did was we ended up generating a big enough buzz to do that. We got a deal, our first deal, because we got two. Our first deal was with Universal Motown, which was structured for a Sheek Louch album and a J Hood album. Sort of like a package deal. They didn't want one without the other. So we went over there and we got that deal done. My album was slated to come out Sheik dropped "Walk with Me," and and that was that. His album came out. He wasn't too pleased with the outcome of it. He ended up negotiating another deal with Koch, which was that deal was structured the same way as the Universal deal. He talked me into leaving Universal. Not saying it in a bad way or nothing. I'm just saying like how it went down. But he talked me into leaving Universal. He told me that I would make $3 off of each album versus me staying over at Universal making 80 cents. You know what I'm saying? So being the age that I was and looking at them, how I looked at them, it was like a no-brainer. I was like, you know what? He was like, yo, you can stay here, da-da-da. I'm like, I'm out. So I ended up going with them. I was like, especially if you guys could get me out of this situation, because I had got an advance, obviously from signing that deal with Universal.
Right.
So I'm like, I mean, whatever. If you could get me out of there, yeah, I'm gonna go over there and make the $3. So I ended up getting out of it, and we signed that deal with Koch afterwards. Like I said, which was structured the same way. And Sheik ended up dropping there, and like I said, I was slated to come out. I probably should have. Matter of fact, it's not even a probably. I should have stayed on the major label, which was Universal, because being a new artist, I needed everything that a major label offered.
All that extra support and
I needed everything.
Yeah.
I needed the marketing, I needed the promo. I needed everything. I needed that machine. These guys, the independent thing would have worked in their favor. More so, it would have more than it would have worked for me, because I was new.
And they already established at the time. They already had the.
They was well established at the time.
Got you. So, you guys go to Koch now.
Right.
The he puts a project out. You said he puts
album
album
Yeah,
out.
he put his first album out over there on Koch, and before he even put that album out, what happened was this. I felt like, and this is just me being realistic. This wasn't me having a big head or anything like that. I mean, I wasn't oblivious to what was going on. I wasn't naive or nothing. I knew exactly what was going on. Like I said, this is not me speaking big-headedly or nothing, but I had shit on. I had the streets stupid. You feel what I'm saying? The buzz was retarded. So he's telling me, they told me that they would rather me drop first. You know what I mean? Because I'm more of a short shot, because I'm an artist that was already out. I was a team player, so I didn't argue with that. Even though in my mind
You felt like
and in my
had
heart,
the buzz, you was ready to go.
right. I'm like, you know what? Whatever. So he dropped. I was in total support. And okay, now it's time for my project to be finalized. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to, everything that I'm asked of. But I'm not seeing the same energy being put forth for my project that he was putting forth of his. You know what I mean? Like, and what I'm saying is, like, going down to the labels, you know what I mean? Making sure everything was getting done that's supposed to be getting done. You know what I mean? Staying on their backs, because anybody knows, like, if you're not on that mother label about doing the stuff that they're supposed to be doing, it just might not get done.
Right.
And that's what was going on. And it seemed like nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. Like,
Now, at that time, sorry to cut you off. At that time, because y'all always part of the group together. Now at this time, D Block is established. You, Sheik, Jada.
yeah. So
SV, everybody's there.
let's be clear with this though, because a lot of people have a misconception when they think of D Block. Let's be very clear. The Locks, my big, and like I consider these guys my big bros. You feel what I'm saying? Still to this day. And I'm gonna get to that as well. But they're a 3-man group. With me added on was D Block. You never heard of a D Block until I came in the picture. So, but we wasn't like a group. It was more of a movement and an imprint. You know what I mean? With 2 artists, which was Sheik and J Hud.
Okay.
So I just wanted to clarify the group thing.
Because I was gonna ask you, did Jada or SP step in to try to, or did you expect them to step in and help you as well during that situation, or were you looking at just Sheik to help you out?
Nah, that's like another thing, man. Like, I was gonna actually elaborate on that and speak a little bit on that, because a narrative was placed out there that I wasn't ready. You feel what I'm saying? Which was far from the truth. Not only was I ready, but the product was fire. You know what I mean? The thing is this. That narrative was pushed out there because if they wouldn't have came up with that, they would have looked a certain way for not putting the product out. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like how I looked at it was the normal artist, you have if you're even signed to another artist, you normally sign to one artist. So I'm like, yo, I was fortunate enough to sign to 3 artists. So I'm gonna have the 3 of these guys to look at, you know what I mean, to come in the studio and dump whatever knowledge that they have into my project or into me,
Of course.
and to make sure that I have everything that I'm supposed to have for my project to be successful. So if they felt like I wasn't ready, it's 3 of you guys come together collectively and come tell your little homie what he's missing from his project. And that didn't happen.
How did you feel that you was ready though? You wasn't established as an artist yet to feel that they were more established than you. They can tell you if you're not ready or not.
And you still young at the time too, right? Now you're like what, 15, 16?
Nah, at the time when I got the first deal, I was 17.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when I say I was ready, like I said, I'm not just a age is nothing but the time that you've been on earth. That doesn't make me naive. You feel what I'm saying? Like when I say I was ready and I know I was ready, I was on everything that you name. You had people like, and no disrespect to anybody, but you had people like Freaky Zeke dropping, and Hell Rell and Jewels, like everybody was dropping. And I'm over here at the place for 4 or 5 years, repping it hard, daily. I'm part of the cause of us inking these deals. You feel what I'm saying? And I can't even drop a project.
What mixtape or what freestyle put you over?
Put me over?
Yeah, over. Like that was one of the biggest buzzes you had.
I mean, I think the first freestyle when people first heard me was the one that really caught the attention of everybody. And that was the one I did on Clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that was when Jada first took me up there when he dropped his first album. He took me and 2 other guys from Yonkers up there. And what ended up happening was all 3 of us spit 2 verses. And after we spit, the next week after that, Clue came out with his tape and I was the only one on it. And he told Kiss that, the streets was talking and, I was who they wanted to hear. So that's how that happened.
So, but you say go back to it. You said you felt that you were ready. You wasn't naive. We didn't accuse you of being naive. But you said that even if you weren't ready, they should have came in collectively and showed you what you was missing.
That's what I felt.
Okay. So, at this time, what was brewing in the streets as far as, like, was any beef going back and forth with, was, like, around what time is this that this is transpiring? Are you guys in any verbal wars with any other crews or anything?
Yeah, we had, I think this was a little after the back and forth we had with Rockefeller State Property. You know what I mean? We had the little back and forth with G Unit. I think it was like, during the time of both of those. So we just could have. It's a lot that we could have done. You know what I mean? Like we just didn't capitalize off of a lot of shit that we could have. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's sad. You feel what I'm saying? And like, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the shit that I did when I was over there and the way I left was absolutely not the right way. You feel what I mean? But I didn't think that at the time, being as young as I was. You know what I mean? I wasn't. It was like a lot. And this is also a misconception that people have. They think that a lot of that was caused by me being upset that my album didn't drop. And again, that's totally wrong. I was upset at the fact that these guys wouldn't let me out of my contract. That's what the whole beef was about. I had got past it not dropping the album. That wasn't even like, I didn't care about that anymore. I just wanted to leave because I had other labels that was offering me money at the time. And my mother had just beat liver disease. I was the only person in the house bringing the chicken in. So I'm like, you trying to stop me from eating. So I was frustrated. I felt betrayed. I was young. These are the only people that I looked up to as big brothers. I'm like, they would never put me in a position to fail.
Right.
And I wasn't able to articulate myself in a well enough or proper enough manner to them as men. So I did the bullshit, lashed out, and you know what I mean? Like all that other silly shit.
Looking back now, like, do you? How do you feel you would have took that if if all of them or one of them told you that you weren't ready?
I mean, we would have just had to talk. We would have had the discussion that was needed. You know what I mean? Like it really wouldn't have been no issue. We would have discussed it like brothers the way we supposed to.
Mm.
I'm trying to figure something out, and I commend you for your maturity. But what I'm trying to figure out is that you were buzzing in the streets, right? They said whatever they said, and you say Mama Love just beat liver cancer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like you was overzealous, meaning that but Mama Love is important, so let's skip that. But let's skip that because that's important. So we can't even nothing can compare to that. What I'm saying is that at the time, before I asked the question, when did you realize that things wasn't going your way when your album didn't drop, right? Like when did you realize like, yo, man, I can't rock with the group no more?
See, it's other key events that took place that led to the decision. You know what I mean? That I made. I won't like, speak about all of them, but one particular situation is when we signed the second deal. I was waiting on my advance, right? I explained to somebody before. When you sign a deal, you're not supposed to wait no longer than 2 weeks for your advance.
True.
Okay, so when I first signed this deal, which was the Koch deal, okay, and let me clarify this. Without my signature, that specific deal wouldn't have been solidified, and it couldn't have went down without my signature. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Okay, now at this meeting with Koch, their lawyers were present. My lawyer was late. He was on his way, and I told him that he was a little late, so I had to wait on him. They convinced me to sign a paper without him being there. I ended up signing, being young. Okay, so now I'm waiting on my advance. 2 weeks passed. 2 weeks turned into a month. Okay, now during that month, my house ended up burning down. Okay, so my house ended up burning down. Now I really need the money. I needed it before, but I really need it now.
Hell yeah.
So I'm waiting. My mother, everybody got to go to a hotel. They had been in a hotel for like 3 weeks. Luckily, the Red Cross stepped in, helped out a little bit.
That's dope.
And I finally got my advance, and I was able to pay the rest of the hotel bills off, and I put my mother in a new apartment, paid for the furniture and all the other type of stuff, and, bought a couple little other things for myself. And by the time I did all that little advance that I had got was gone, but I had to wait on that advance, and it took that to happen for me to get it. Okay, now, after that took place, not too long after, actually in the same time frame, as I stated, they wasn't, putting forth the same energy in my project as they was with Sheek. Mm-hmm. Now, we're in a good space, so we could talk about this. I can speak about it with no emotions involved in it or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's cool. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go down here to Koch and see what's going on. This isn't something that I normally do. So, but I'm like, let me check this out, see what's going on. End up going down there to Koch. I took my homie there with me so I could have a witness to what's going on. Walked up in there. I went to go sit down with Alan Grumpler, who was the general manager. He's like, yo, what's going on, Hood? I'm like, 9 months, da-da-da. He like, yo, I'm sorry about what happened. I heard about, the situation. The guys came in here and told us that your house burned down, and, I hope what we was able to give to you helped out. And I'm looking at him like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. You know what I mean? I'm like, what you mean? What you talking about? He like, the guys came down here and told us your house burned down and you needed a little help, so we cut a $60,000 check. I'm like, what? I'm looking at my man. I'm like, what? He like, you ain't get it? I'm like, what? I'm thinking he bullshit. He like, yo, we cut a $60,000 check to get you. And I end up staying probably for like another 15 minutes, checking shit out, and I left. But from that day forth, shit was never the same. You know what I mean? I never looked at them the same.
You say you're in a good space with them now?
Yeah.
You spoke to them?
Yeah, I mean, this was a couple of years ago, but it's a funny situation. The same people that they're around, I'm around. We from the same hood. So the people that they hang around, they follow me. I follow them, and I end up going to the studio, seeing each and every one of them individually, sit down with them face to face, and apologize for my role that I played in the whole situation. So we good, man.
So they told you about the $60,000 check.
They didn't tell. The label told me.
The label, yeah. So you got upset mentally.
Right.
You held that in.
Right.
Then it took you a while to get the advance. How much was the advance?
$25,000.
Okay, it took you a while to get it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When you finally got it, you still in your mind have the fact that you have in your mind that I wanna get up out of here. I wanna leave.
Not when I was waiting on the 25. After I ended up getting it, I mean, there was a number of things. When the crib burned down, I'm on like 5 different news channels and shit like that. So I'm all over the TV, like shit crazy. You know what I mean? Shit all over the internet.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not saying that they were supposed to, but this is what you have to understand, right? I love these dudes, man. Like I said, these are guys that I looked up to as big brothers. Right. You know what I mean? Like real shit. Like it was deeper than music. Like it was like real family type shit. So it's like, what else happened? Like I mean, besides the 60, I didn't know about that, and none of them even brought that up to me. But when the house burned down, the fact that none of them, tried to offer anything to me, like, yo, let's put together at least a little package for him, or do you need some help? Wow. It was nothing, none of that. You feel
so
what
did
I'm
he say, did the person at the label tell you where the $60,000 went? Did he say who took it, or where did it go? He just...
Nah, nobody said anything about it.
No, you said he told you that, or
yeah.
He said they didn't tell you about the $60,000?
Yeah, so what ended up happening was, when you sign to a label, they can't sign for you, but they could sign on behalf of you. If the check is going to the actual label on behalf of you, they could endorse it. You know what I mean? So somehow the money was taken, and then it wasn't given to me.
So somebody signed for it.
Right. And the only 2 people that was, that could have did it, I'm not going to say names, but it's only 2 people that could have did it. But nobody ever spoke about it, even to this day, and when it gets brought up, it's denied or whatever the case be. But that was part of what made me come to making a decision that I made.
Wow. So what was the last straw? Was that the last straw to make you make your decision to flip?
The last straw was probably, we went to a parking lot. We went to the parking lot one day, and I just, felt some funny vibes. There used to be like sporadic, time periods when me and Luch didn't speak to each other. Probably for used to be like weeks at a time. Like little shit. Like any little brother have fights with his big brother. That's regular shit. You feel me? Like, so I want to talk to him for like a week, shit like that. And I want to put out there as well before I even go any further. See, that's the thing. I'm able to pinpoint my wrongdoings. Like, as I said, every brother have fights with their older brother. My only mistake was making our fight public. You know what I mean? And that was something that I shouldn't have did. Because, if you fight with your brother, that's in-house. Me, I took the other route. You know what I mean? Because I felt like, these guys are keeping me off the radio. So let me go to the internet, which is, giving me access to the world in the press of a button. So that's the route that I took. Not saying that it was the right route. You know what I mean? Like, I was reading 48 Laws of Power at the time. It says, crush your enemy totally. So I'm like, you know what? That was my mentality.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't crushing them totally, I thought I was doing something. You know what I mean? Like.
So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, at any point before you did those kind of crazy things on the internet, stuff like that, do you feel or take accountability for anything else that you might have did behind the scenes towards those gentlemen? Did you feel that anything else happened that could have made them not talk to you or distance themselves? You don't recall anything that might have.
They didn't distance. That's the thing. They never distanced themselves.
Well, you said you started to see like. You see them like every week or so, and 2 weeks start to fade away.
Yeah, because I mean, it was always like a funny thing. If you know them, you know them. Like, it's I always had my own crew. I was never a yes man. You know what I mean? Like,
got you. Never
a yes man. It was like different things that took place, man. Like I said, that made me come to make the decision that I made. I had like being there as long as I was, it gave me time enough to think of a plan B. So what happened was I'm like, you know what? I contributed to starting this movement, so I seen what it took. So let me plant a seed right now.
Mhm.
You know, it may not grow right now, but let me plant it at least. So I ended up starting my own movement, which I have now, which is ODG Entertainment. I started that. I had a couple of artists from Yonkers, a couple of artists from other places. Okay, now one artist from Yonkers, I won't get totally into it, but he ended up going over there and on D Block. One of the original founders of ODG, he's a producer on D Block right now. You know what I mean? So they have him. They ended up taking the other guy, and then they ended up taking another dude that was with me. So it was like, not only are you guys taking dudes from my crew, but you taking the money, like, you know what I mean? Shit like that. So it was like a collection of different things, and I was just like, I didn't know how to respond to it. You know what I mean? Like in a proper way. Being young, your first reaction is to lash out.
Right.
You're not going to be thinking like, you know what? Let me just sit down and talk to these dudes. You know what I mean? And have a real grown man conversation. You're not thinking about doing it.
Dope. TMS, sit down. No, hold on. Don't give him nothing. Nah, he gonna go crazy. Nah, he can't do that. Sit down, man.
Please.
Sit down. You interrupted my interview. Close the door and sit down, please. Thank you. You, close the door. Thank you. Yeah, pardon me.
You good?
Yeah, he gets a little. I'll have to deal with it. Yeah, please don't. Yeah, sorry. Man was bugging. The last thing you said, pardon me about that. Now moving forward, you said they was taking the money, the crew, and everything. When did Bully come in?
Into the whole D Block equation?
Yeah.
All right, him.
And did he hold you upside down in a joking way?
Look, man, the thing about dude, right? I have no malice towards him or anything like that. Let me put that out there. But, I will, to his defense, like I said on a previous interview, he always rapped. He been rapping. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So the situation with him, and this is just me telling you what I think, as I spoke to y'all about and which I stated, I'm not from Yonkers. I'm originally from North Carolina. So when I moved to, this guy has been living there forever. He's from Whitney Young. He's from 354. He's from where these guys be at. You know what I mean? So I get like, when I moved up here and they took a liking to me, I think that kind of like made him feel a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because he was around them all his life, and they didn't, decide to do something like that with him, but with somebody else come for whatever reason. You know what I mean? They end up fucking with me. I don't think that set too well with him. He always rapped. He was more so like, he used to be like around Luch going to the gym with him and shit like that, and they used to have him like driving in places like they'll let him drive the whip, you'll drive me here type shit, and shit like that. And
Chill out. Chill,
nah, this is real shit. I'm not trying to. This is real shit.
Chill for real. Stop.
My nigga, this is a fact.
Don't say it like that, man.
Like what?
Don't say it like driving around, driving here.
This is real. This is word of my life. Real shit. I'm not trying to play him.
I know.
Something that you saw with your eyes, when you heard.
He just
I'm
was
not
taking.
trying to
He was
play
just
him. I'm
riding with
dead
them, man.
serious.
Chill out, man.
The nigga, yeah, that's what he, But and about the other shit, yeah, that nigga hung me upside down like I'm 135, 140. You feel me? Like I'm Mayweather size. This nigga 350 or some shit.
Yeah.
So we wrestling. I ran down on a nigga, act like I could scoop him, and that was the wrong move. The nigga picked me up and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was what it was, and it wasn't no real shit.
That day, man.
But we was wrestling.
We was playing.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
Did you leave? So, Bully, you left before Bully.
Yeah.
The situation with Bully.
A couple people left before me, also.
Who left before you?
If anybody really follows D Block, they know about a guy named Livson. He was a producer that was there from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
He left first.
For the same reason?
Super, something like that. Something similar. Did Super Mario leave before me or after?
Like, Super left before Live Son.
Nah, he left after Livson.
Well, they left around the same period.
Yeah,
But
Super
then-
Mario left and I left.
And
You
then
know what I
he
mean?
left.
So people left before you.
Right.
So now, but did you hear about the whole bully situation or why they stopped rocking with him?
Yeah, man. I wasn't concerned with that though because first of all, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's not important to me. Like you know what I mean?
Respect.
Like not saying nothing to him, but it's not important to me. But I didn't feel no way because when I was going through whatever I was going through with the big bros, instead of like everybody using common sense and like breaking it down logically and being like, you know what, I was actually there. I seen what's going on. Let me fall back because I have nothing to do with it. It's between them. People wanted to throw shots and tell lies and try to paint me to be the bad guy and make me look a certain way. So I took no remorse from them. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. You feel me? Like I don't feel no way about it because he went on the internet and told a bunch of lies about me before. You feel what I'm saying? And now I end up seeing him in the hood, and I could have approached him differently than I approached him about it, but I let it go because I'm like, you know what, man? If the energy was different, I see what type of energy it is. And when I seen him, it was a non-confrontational approach. You know what I mean? Like he was, yo, what up? I ain't seen you in a minute, man. How long it's been? I was like, too long, nigga. Like, nah, I mean, it was good. He like, nah, ain't nothing, man. You know. I'm like, okay. And then one of the OGs was like, I ain't gonna lie, hood, yo, y'all need to do something, man. And I kind of like brushed it off. You know what I mean? And that was it.
That was like.
And then after that, he ended up getting on the interview, like saying some type of stuff. Like some of the shit was cool. It was kind of truthful. And then he threw a little line there. He was like, yeah, I seen Hood, and he tried to ask me about doing the song. I never said no shit about doing no song.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? I never wanted to do a song with him. OG said that shit. You know what I mean? So that was the only part I didn't like. You know what I mean? And then until I heard about him coming here talking to you and then speaking some unfactual shit, that kind of made me laugh. And I'm just like, yo, this is crazy.
So they was taking the team. You feel like they was taking the money. That was the last straw. When did you flip out? Did you speak to them first?
Yeah.
What was the conversation like?
When I first decided to leave, what happened was I ended up speaking to P. He told me to pull up to the lab. Mm-hmm. At this time, I'm feeling like super uncomfortable to the point where I don't even want to like be in the lab.
Be around him, yeah.
Yeah. So I go to the lab. I'm trying to talk to him through the door. You know what I mean? He like, yo, bro, come in. I'm like, nah. He like, yo, bro, stop acting like that. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. You know what I mean? Because at the time I was feeling like, yo, this Luke shit, he trying to act like, you know what I mean? He didn't want me here. Or however he was acting at the time. I'm like, nigga, like, whatever. So I'm like, I don't want to come in. He like, stop acting like that. I fucked with P. So P like, yo, come in. So I ended up going in. I sat down with him and explained to him how I felt and what I wanted to do, which was, I want to, separate. I don't want no affiliation, you know what I mean? Like, I told him why. And then before I even got to explain everything, he was like, yo, I already know what it's about. You ain't even got to, you know what I mean, say no more about it. You good. I love you. Like, you know what I mean? We shook on it, gave each other a hug, and that was it. I thought that was it. I was just like I gave him a little bit of time to speak to attorneys to get me out of the paperwork, you know what I mean? And I just, after a while, I felt like I was getting dicked around after like a month went by without nothing happening. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? I think I'm feeling like guys are trying to hold me to a point where no one will be interested in signing me anymore. So I'm like, yo, what's going on? Only thing you have to do is release me. So they wouldn't release me. And I was like hearing mad different shit was circulating around. I'm starting hearing different shit. I bought a chain, you know what I mean, to rep the click. Usually when you go somewhere, they give you a chain, but I bought this chain, being a team player. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing certain shit on the internet, which I thought was funny, but I'm hearing Sheik took the chain and all this other type of shit. See, that was why I showed the chain. Originally, that was the purpose of me showing the chain on camera. You know what I mean? Like, if you see it, my man was like, yo, Hood, what up with that chain? I'm like, what chain? This chain? I showed it. And originally, that was supposed to be it. I wasn't supposed to drag this shit or nothing like that. So, everything was more so on impulse. My man was like, yo, man, we scraped that shit. And as soon as he said that, I just started walking it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh. And after that, it was over. It was too far. It was already done. He couldn't go back on it. But it wasn't supposed to come out. That's what people don't know. The guy that shot the DVD, I told him, I'm like, yo, son, don't put that out until we give you the green light. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, later on that night, I ain't know what was going on. I woke up the next day. Everybody hit my phone. This shit is all over the internet. I'm like, yo, this nigga didn't put this shit out.
Man.
And I couldn't turn around after that. But that shit was totally whack. You know what I mean? Like, even if I felt the way that I felt at the time, even if I felt like they were wrong and I was frustrated and I felt betrayed, like, and all that different stuff that I told you I felt, even if I felt that way, I should have handled it differently. You know what I mean? That shit was super duper whack. In every aspect. Like, there's no justification for that. Shit was whack. You know what I mean? Like, we created something, you know, unmatched to this day. Our chemistry was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, and I should have handled it way differently. But I want people to also know, it was never like, I never wished no harm on them. I never wanted anything to happen to them. It was never like no situations where, like, I let people talk about them in front of me. Like, nah, you can't say nothing bad about them in front of me. Because, like I said, these are brothers of mine. Like, we could beef, but I'm not about to let you, you know what I mean, talk dirty about it. It ain't no shit like that. So it wasn't how, like, a lot of people thought it was. Although it got real, though. Shit got real for a minute.
Got real meaning what?
You know, like, people, they never wanted to do anything to me, but, you know, people around them,
Makes
you know,
sense.
that want to impress them and shit like that. You know, they want to catch me slipping, or my crew slipping. My niggas want to catch them slipping. So it was a bunch of that for a little while until I, like, had to, like, really step in and, you know, diffuse everything.
So you got caught slipping before, basically?
Nah.
What about something about you gave?
Fortunately, I never got caught slipping, but I will tell you this, though. A lot of lies fucking started going on. Like, like a lot of shit. I never heard a lot of shit that I started hearing until I left, you know, D-Block. You know what I mean?
What was the craziest rumor that you heard before about yourself?
That I got stripped, butt naked, left on the staircase, and
in the
robbed,
Bronx.
and some shit like that in the Bronx.
I heard the same thing.
When I heard that, I was like, yeah, this shit crazy out here, my nigga.
So that's false.
That's super duper duper false.
Just wanted to be clear for the people that's
people.
tuning in.
Listen, let me tell you something about me,
thing.
man. I'm not
I wanted to ask.
I'm not the super gangster or nothing like that, but I will tell you this. First and foremost, okay, we live in the viral era. So if something like that took place, not only would everyone have their phones out to be recording it, but it would be all over the internet because someone can't wait to try to get some clout and throw that up. You feel what I'm saying? So that would have been out immediately. Second of all, if something like that ever took place, rap would not be on my mind because as a man, I would have had to handle that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So nothing like that would ever take place. Period.
But did you ever have a situation though, where you ever got robbed or something like that? They said
I got jumped before.
And they took in the party or something, or outside?
Yeah, inside a party. What happened? That was totally my fault. You know what I mean? I got jumped twice in my life.
Okay.
One was for taking up for my friend.
Respect.
The other one was my fault. You know what I mean? What happened was, me and Max B had a performance at a party. I was with a couple of my dudes. I ended up popping a pill in the joint. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't in my correct state of mind.
Okay.
This is during the whole so-called beef with these guys. You know what I mean? This is when shit is lit. So Max called me on stage. I go on stage. You know what I mean? And I'm on my fake workout shit and all that. So I'm on stage. I'm wavy. Took my shirt off and all that. Bitches.
Free the homie, too.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm piecing the homies up and all that. I'm in the front crowd. The niggas throwing shit up, throwing their hoods up, and everything all love. So, you know, but I noticed these 4 cats in the crowd. They don't look like everybody else look. You know what I mean? Like, they staring at me, giving me the grill type shit. And I'm looking around like, yo, these niggas serious? And I'm looking at them, and they got their eyes, like, dialed on me. And I'm, like, after a while, they like, yo, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. D-Block, nigga. D-Block, nigga. I'm looking around because I can't believe it. I'm like, yo, these niggas serious? Like, nigga, fuck you, nigga. D-Block, nigga. I'm laughing and shit. Until after a while, I was like, nigga, fuck you too. Nigga, fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. Like, they like, what, nigga, what? So I ended up turning around. I didn't tell my niggas or nothing what was going on. The stage was crowded. I ended up just turning around, walking off stage. You feel me? Not saying that it was a good move, but I ended up walking off the stage, and I pulled right up on them niggas. You know what I mean? Ran down on them. Me, I mushed one of them niggas straight as soon as I walked up on them. Bear in mind, it's 4 niggas. The smallest guy is probably about 5'11". You know what I mean? 190, 180 or something like that. Me. Wrong move. I'm 5'6", 140. Ran down on them niggas like I'm like 6'9". As you probably know, it didn't end well. But I ran down on them, mush one nigga. I took my chain off, put it inside my coat pocket. As soon as I do that, somebody trying to act like they breaking up. Yo, chill. A nigga grabbed me like this. Yo, chill. Next thing I know, boom. Somebody hit me. I swung one time, hit somebody. I got like two punches off at the most. Bang, bang. Next thing I know, I just feel haymakers coming from everywhere. Like, bang, bang. I'm like, oh, it's late. After that, party over. You know what I mean? And I, that happened. I give them that. The niggas wash me.
And they took your chain.
Nah, they ain't take my chain, but they washed me though. You feel me? I give them that. It happens, but them niggas can't tell you I'm pussy though. What they will tell you is that little nigga ran down on us though. I ain't gonna front. We washed him, but he ran down on us.
So in retrospect, you said that dog walking the chain wasn't a really good idea. I mean, you bought the chain, so obviously it wasn't good.
Yeah. As far as something happening though from all that shit, that's the only thing that ever happened. Like some niggas that ain't even really down with niggas.
No, I understand. No, I'm just saying, like, even though you said, yo, I should have been able to express myself to them better.
Right.
Instead of doing that, man. But what came out of that though? Attention, except for that situation.
Man,
what came out of that?
To be honest, nothing.
You were the first one they said that went against the crew.
Against the crew?
Yeah, went against your crew. That's what I heard. That's what I read.
First one to go against the crew. I mean, people been going against their quote-unquote crew since the beginning of time. I couldn't have been the first one to do that.
They said somebody said you was
nothing
the
is
first
new
one.
under the sun. Like the record industry been going away before I was around, and shit like that been going on.
They say you the first. I guess
Temptations and shit like
Yeah,
that.
like
they've been wilding from back in the day.
It's people that did way worse and shit than me. You got
It was
people out here that
probably
done
first
ratted on
probably
niggas,
first
put
hip hop
niggas in
group
jail.
maybe.
Yeah, something I read.
Probably
Something
first
like
hip hop
about
group.
you,
I think first hip hop group to have someone go against the team. That's probably what it is.
Not that, but I think that wow, because you was still D Block when you was doing that.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
They didn't agree.
People might have assumed that, but I wasn't.
Hmm.
When I was doing all this shit, how am I gonna be something?
You just wanted to get out of something though, bro. So that was your reason. It didn't matter if you was with it, and then you just wanted to get out.
Yeah, but if I want to get out of something, obviously I'm not claiming that.
But on the document, you were still part of it.
Yeah, if you want to be technical about something.
That's how the technicality is what it is. It's the key.
This guy here.
Technicality is the key.
Yeah, but
Fuck all that. This guy, I think is buggy. He know what I'm
I mean,
saying.
at the end of the day, you right.
yeah, I wasn't. But that wasn't what that's not the time I was on. You feel me?
Understood.
But in all reality, I was that because I have it inked on me. You feel what I'm saying? I got it on my neck. I got it across my belly.
Tattoo.
I'm always that. But that's not the time I was on.
You wanted to get out,
Yeah, right.
and they didn't want to let you out.
Right.
How much times you asked them to get out? Okay, after you made the video where you dog walk your own chain, you got to think about it. That was crazy. You paid for it. Come on, you're a smart guy. That's what I like about you.
That wasn't smart.
Yeah, I mean, of course not. But you're smart now. What you saying? You're mature. I salute you. After that happened, what happened? They called your phone. Did any one of them niggas try to reach out?
After that, no. See, because it a whole bunch of stuff just transpired. You know what I mean with that? It's like, okay, I attended a couple different label meetings. You know what I mean? And what's so ill is people didn't hear about none of these meetings that I took except one meeting because it contained shock value, and that meeting was the one that I took with 50. You know what I mean? Like,
That's what it was.
right. But
Gotcha.
This is what people, like, again, this is a misconception. People thought that I was attempting to sign with 50 when I wasn't. As I stated, I was reading the 48 Laws of Power at the time.
Mm.
So me thinking, I'm like, you know what, how can I gut shot these dudes? I'm like, if I take a meeting with our quote unquote arch nemesis, that's a gut shot. So let me just do that, being spiteful. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just telling you my mentality at the time, not saying that it was
You didn't
the
plan
correct
on
way.
doing anything with 50 Cent. You wanted to just do it
Yeah, I
because
just
of
wanted
take
to
the
do it.
shot.
Yeah, right. So I went there, I took the meeting with him. And, you know, I'm not even gonna front. It was like it lasted a good 6 hours, 7 hours.
Damn man.
It was a crazy meeting. You know what I mean? Like
For a minute.
even that whole situation was ill. The way that even happened, like, but to get to the meat of that, I remember like yesterday. I during the meeting, he sat down with me and like what was it, like six of us? Like six of my homies was there. We all sat down. I'm like, yo, look, we discussing everything. He wanted to make it clear for some reason. I give him that. He's like a cool dude. Like, I'm not gonna front. He wanted to make it clear to us that he wasn't no rat though. He was like really trying to stress that type shit. He was telling us stories and shit. So, but when we was talking about our situation, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Yo, my nigga, I'm a Ja Rule this nigga Sheik, man. That's what I told this nigga.
He probably liked that too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. He looked at me. He was like, yo, come here real quick. He pulled me to the side. You know what I mean? And we went like in this little weight room.
I know you're doing.
You know what I mean? Because I guess it was in the clothing
Clothing
office.
store,
So
yeah.
he took us to the weight room and, well, actually, he took me there.
Yeah.
We sat up in there probably for like 3 hours and just was talking about just mad different
Locked
shit.
in.
But I respected the fact that as soon as he heard me say that, instead of like buying into it and speaking about it right there in front of everybody, he pulled me to the side. Like, you know what I mean? And was like, yo, dude, like, is that what you really trying to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what caused that? What would make you think that you want to do something like that? He didn't just automatically jump to it like, yeah, what's up? Let's do that. Like, so it wasn't that. And then,
That's
like,
different.
when people see me at his concert in the Bronx, when he was doing like his little tours, people automatically
little
assume
tour
that,
shit.
yo, he used them because he made them, he had them come out. Nah. My way of thinking was I used him because I'm like, you know what? As soon as I heard he was coming to the Bronx, I'll be in the Bronx. I'm like, you know what? That's a good opportunity. It falls right into my plan. Me, I call Yayo up. Yo, son, I heard y'all gonna be at the Jimmy's Bronx Cafe. Yeah, I'm pulling up. I pulled up. Let them know what was going down there. Like, all right, bet, pull up. Pulled up. The homie Trav came outside, got me, walked me into the joint. I seen Banks. I seen fucking Buck. It's my first time seeing these niggas. Bear in mind, like, we was beefing. And this is my first time seeing these niggas. Like, I'm like face to face with these niggas. We waiting to walk in on stage and shit. They looking at me, I'm looking at them. So it's like, it's weird.
It's weird, bro.
I'm like, yo, what's shaking? They like, yo, what up, nigga? Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like,
it
See,
was
y'all
love
was
at
good.
the end of the
Yeah,
day.
it was
It
good.
was love
Out
at
the
the
you
end
know what I'm
of the
saying?
day,
But
yeah.
we got on stage. See, me walking the chain, I was on the way to the Jimmy's Cafe. It was like right down the block. We had just parked. So I drugged the shit on the way to the concert. So I got inside the concert. 50 like, yo, man, where the nigga J Hood at, man? I got on stage. I had the chain in my pocket. I pulled the chain out. Everybody like, oh, shit. I'm like, put the shit back in my pocket. Next thing I know, this nigga fucking Yayo. He had just dropped this fucking freestyle to that
That shit, that Welcome to Jam Rock
Welcome
shit.
to Jam Rock shit. Next thing I know, I'm
Welcome
chilling.
to Jam Rock. That
5,
shit.
4, 3, 2. Fuck D Block. I'm like, I turned around. I'm like, yo, this nigga wildin'. Oh shit. I'm like, damn, man. And after that, I'm like, oh man, it's about to be lit. Left that shit, it was lit. I'm like, God damn, I'm in the fire, man. I can't do nothing. I'm like, it's already, you know what I mean? And I just had to roll with it. But yeah, that whole the whole shit was whack, man. Like, one thing I never got to do, like I said, I got to apologize to them face to face. You know, and that was cool for us. You know what I mean? And they seemed like that I grew as a man, and I just view things totally different now. I never got to apologize to the fans because I feel like they shouldn't have never had to witness something like that. Because even to this day, man, like a lot of fans are emotionally attached to that whole situation. You know what I mean? They like they was disappointed at how it panned out. You know what I mean? The way we handled things and stuff like that. So I apologize to all of the consumers that supported us. You know what I mean? Like that was with us from day one. Y'all shouldn't have never had to see that, and the way I handled that was totally wrong. And you know what I mean? Like these guys are the bros, man. And aside from them being the bros, they're the locks, man. You know what I mean? These guys are legendary, man. They've been around for a minute. I should have showed them a little bit more
It's still
respect
two
than what I
guns up
showed
on
them. You
this
know what I mean?
side, man.
But yeah, still 2 guns up. I still got D Block tatted all on my body. I still a pop song for them, and it's just love, man. You know what I mean?
What?
It's a bunch of silly shit. I could laugh at that shit now and be like, yo, you know what? I was on some stupid shit. Like, I was on some real stupid shit.
Why you said they had 100,000 for you?
What you mean?
I read an article where you said that somebody owed you 100,000.
Somebody owed me 100,000.
Yeah, D Block or Jadakiss, something like that. Just so when you Google these things, this would pop up.
I don't know about the 100. I know about the 60 that I spoke about.
You just said 60, so it wasn't 100. Okay, no, I read something. Pardon me.
Somebody probably stretched that. Threw that good 40 on that.
Yeah, facts. On top of that, so
but my budget was cracked before I had knowledge of it though, when it wasn't supposed to be crack. So I don't know.
Was it,
My budget was $250 at Koch.
Okay, and then what happened?
Somehow it got cracked without my knowledge.
Somebody signed for it.
Yeah, and they opened it. I didn't know it was open because we didn't do anything as far as like promoting my project. The most we did was get T-shirts and flyers printed up. There was no video shot or nothing like that. And let me add to this, because I also heard this guy speaking on that. I don't say his name. So this guy. So what I had dudes like Little Flip. I had dudes. Chingy that's my guy. You feel me? He jumped on my album when he was like scorching hot after he sold 3 million. You know what I mean? I had a verse from Chingy on the album. David Banner was scheduled to jump on the joint. MOP was supposed to be on the joint. I had a joint from Kwame. You know what I mean? He made a joint. Actually, I don't know if you ever heard the song from Drake, that Aaliyah sample, that Let Me Know.
Oh, that's a fact.
That was my joint. You feel me? I had a joint from DJ Premier. I had a lot of joints, man. A lot of crazy joints. You know what I mean? And actually, I never even got to keep those songs. They never gave them to me after I left. Never got to take no songs. But
Yo. Nah, that's
it's a
crazy.
fire over there.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I ain't gonna lie, not to cut you off, but to elaborate on what the bro just said.
Yeah.
He's talking about what we was talking about. The homie earlier that you brought about, talking about the upside situation. We don't really elaborate on homeboy's name. You feel me? As far as with the flipping upside down bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in that interview earlier with him, it's talking about him meeting Flip and why he shouldn't done something with Flip back then. Him not knowing that him and Flip been doing songs
That's
together.
my
They
guy.
been had tracks.
Yeah, Flip got like,
Wow, cool.
man, him got like a whole EP full of material together.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, so homeboy don't even know what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
So
like,
you talking about the homie that was here before?
Facts.
yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. That's my guy. Like I said,
Shout out
him.
to Lil
It's
Flip,
different guys. Like when all the stuff started taking place with me and these guys, it's a couple of people. I'm not even gonna say a couple of people. Probably like 60% of the industry started acting a certain way, and the other 40 they kept it neutral. You know what I mean? Like, but the other 60 they probably kind of felt like
Why
they
you
didn't
wasn't doing no with Lil Flip? I'm confused.
I was dealing with Flip. That's what I'm saying.
Why you wasn't? Why he felt you wasn't supposed to do something with him?
Because he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't think he said that I wasn't. He was saying that I should have been doing something with him. Which is like, what are you talking about? I was doing stuff with this
They
guy.
already got shit done. They already did
You
songs
know what I
together.
mean? Like, this is my dude. So, but you know, there was some of the people that was holding me down. Like I said, Flip Chingy, Project Pat. I got music with him. Two Pistols from Florida. Like a lot of people you name, man. Like a lot of people who kept it 100.
What's my boy name from the A? OJ.
OJ the Juice, man. Got a joint with him. Ron Browse, like all kind of people, man. But you just never probably heard about these songs because, I mean, as you probably know, when you're recreating your brand and you're doing things independently versus you being in somewhat of a kind of light, it's different.
Right.
You're doing a rebuilding thing.
I'm still trying to figure out where it all went bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing the stories and everything in the timeline.
Where did it go bad?
I'm trying to figure out what going bad meaning as far as them treating you the way they treated you, and the money being misplaced, and you not getting what you deserve here, the album not dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I think?
I'm trying to figure out what made those actions transpire. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I think? And this is just me.
Your opinion.
Yeah, this is not. I don't even know if you want to call it an opinion, but this is the conclusion that I came to. This was their first time running a business and starting a company.
Okay.
So, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they just probably didn't know how to run an independent company correctly. You know what I mean? Because they're brand new at this. Sometimes when you start a company, the first thing that you put out, you might fail at that. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you're doing. You might fall on your face.
Right.
We just didn't try. You know what I mean? Like.
But all three of them are still. Well, I guess it's different because they're already established. You were still
Right.
new addition to the team, but all three of them
They're still there. It's still out there.
They were still putting their projects out after.
Right.
And you were still like, I guess, shelved.
Trying to come out.
Trying to come out, yeah. So I feel like at some point they kind of figured the game out, industry out. They've been in it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? They should know something about how to put at least one artist on, or you know.
I mean, see, this is what you would think. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you see other artists following that same blueprint. Artists such as you will see, for instance, you could name people like Cam. He put out multiple artists and made a way for his team to eat. You know what I mean? They put out various projects because that's what you're supposed to do when you have an imprint. Even State Property, they put out a catalog of material. G-Unit, they put out retail product. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the D-Block imprint, as far as like the retail side of things, we're at the bottom of the totem pole when you compare us to these other camps. You feel what I'm saying? Like, G-Unit, they came out with the Beg for Mercy compilation. They came out with 50 album. They came out with Banks album. They came out with Buck joint. They came out with Yayo joint, Game joint. Dipset came out with a couple compilations. They came out with Cam album, Jewel's joint, Hell Rel, Freaky Ziggy, like all the motherfuckers. Like I said, State Property, even Terror Squad was doing their thing. But if you look at D-Block, the actual, like I said, the retail side of things, they haven't dropped anything but Sheek Louch albums. There's nothing other than that. I mean, they dropped a compilation after I left, you know what I mean, to prove that they could drop something besides a Sheek album. But aside from that, that's the only thing that came out. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. This is the conclusion that I came to, being the age that I am now. Like I said, I love these dudes, man. So I could say this. I just felt like at the time, I didn't look at things like this because I was young, but I feel like they probably weren't ready to put someone in a position to be equally successful as them or more successful as them because they felt like they didn't get out of their career what they supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, and that was probably their mind state because I felt like it was like a slam dunk if they would have just did the things that they were supposed to do. Like, you would have been looked at. Like let's say if I ended up being successful after they put me out and the album did numbers, they would have been looked at as finding that next person. That would have elevated their status. That would have like gave them more longevity. That would have helped them to recreate themselves. It would have did something for the brand. You know what I mean? And even if let's say for instance, speaking hypothetically, let's say they put me out and I sold 50,000. Okay, so what? Keep it moving. Keep it pushing.
Yo, you speaking from stop it, man. You just wanted your album to come out.
No,
man.
I'm speaking like realistically because people come out right now and do way worse than that.
Yeah, but even if you did good or bad, like you felt like you came up with an opinion that your assumption, and I like the fact. Let me salute you first of all that you mature enough to say you love your bros, but the opinion you coming up with as far as saying that I think that they didn't want somebody to. That makes sense, and it can make sense, but
so debunk it.
I did. The debunkness is you were young, you need to slow down, go at a speed pace. You're not able to call shots or say, nigga, you're not in the industry that long. You don't know how the business work for you to tell niggas when to put you out or how to put you out. Any nigga that's young and overzealous will always feel like that. Yo, I feel like this. That's young. That's part of being young. That's part of being a teenager. That's part of being a young adult. You didn't put yourself in that. You still under them niggas. You got to follow protocol at the end of the day.
So what exactly was
protocol is you got to wait your turn.
First of all, let me explain something. Let me be thorough with this, right?
Be very thorough.
I spoke about this earlier. I don't know if you heard me.
I heard everything you said.
Okay, so if you heard me, you wouldn't have said what you said because, like I said, each deal that we got, I was part of the reason.
And they said that they didn't want to do it without you. You said that.
Exactly. So the label said this was part of a package deal. They wouldn't have did one without the other, meaning if my album wasn't part of the package, this deal wouldn't have got done. So if this label didn't feel like I was ready, they wouldn't have even presented that deal to us and gave us an opportunity to get a distribution agreement with them.
But I'm trying to figure out, like, why would these niggas not want to put a young hot nigga out? You was hot at the time.
Like
I
said,
so at the time, they probably feel like, I don't think a lot of niggas is hot on a mixtape but not ready for an album. You know that, man.
Listen, man. I understand what the position that you're attempting to come from.
I can't attempt.
But I'm telling you this because I was there. And it doesn't matter if I'm the actual artist that we're speaking about. Even if I wasn't. Listen, man. That album was fire. You feel what I'm saying? And if they would have did the proper things that were supposed to be done, we would have, the buzz, we could have it would have been more of a snowball effect. We could have made the buzz even grow even bigger than what it was. You know what I mean? If proper things were done, we could have shot the first video to the single, shot the next one, shot the next one, but the budget wasn't being spent properly. Things wasn't being done. Instead of like trying to get the big money, they were skimming from the little money. You feel what I'm saying? Like you basically stealing from yourself. Like it was like a lot of shit going on behind closed doors, and if I like really get into it, it would make them look a certain way, and that's not why I'm here. You feel
You're
what I'm
not saying nothing wrong, but maybe you should think. You know, you can think however you want to think. I know that when niggas is young, you know what I'm saying. A lot of times growing up, you get to look back at things like maybe if I would have, maybe like what I mean. Look at it from different sides of the story or the spectrum. When we young, we always one thing at a like that.
Right.
But you feel like, my album was hot. I can't tell you. I didn't hear it. I can't tell you your album was hot. I can't tell you because you're right. You did say earlier that the labels, Koch and even Universal Motown, right? You said that it was a joint deal. Like you got to put Hood out because you had it on fire. But a lot of niggas that have it on fire on a mixtape, Hood, you know how that shit go. They can't put out an album.
Right.
I mean,
You know what I'm
is that or either maybe on the other side of the spectrum they felt like he was too hot and then he might still a shine. I mean, that's those only two ways I can see it going.
And also
this way.
To add on to that,
Respect.
you have to
I
understand this
respect
too.
your opinion.
You have to understand this also. Like I said, I was never a yes man. So with that being said, I even heard Luke say this one time, like, yo, if we ever put Hood out, we ain't gonna be able to control him like that. You know what I mean? Because he's already trying to do his own thing. He got his own people. They wasn't really too big on the idea of you bringing people around that they didn't know. Even like if it came to friends and all that type of stuff.
I can see that being
you feel me? So it's
I can see
like
it being an
I can
issue.
see that being an issue, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can see that too.
a lot of people that was around, they was more so on some just following protocol, and I'm a yes, not calling nobody no yes man, but
Respect.
I was never that. So that was part of the issue.
Okay, so
But you still feel like you may have.
Like if I not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
like real shit, Flip. If I really wasn't ready, like real shit. If my shit really wasn't ready and I wasn't ready as a person, I'd be like I'd be the first person to sit here and tell you like real
I
shit.
feel
I wasn't
that.
ready, my nigga. You feel me?
I
Because
feel
I
that.
sit here and tell you like, yo, bro, I did some bullshit, my nigga. Like you know what I mean? The whole situation was whack. So if I'm gonna be completely honest and be transparent and tell you things to that degree, like I would tell you my shit wasn't ready, bro. But that wasn't the case.
You had a feature with Chingy.
I had Chingy, like I said, at the time, David Banner was on fire.
Facts.
So he was doing a hook for me.
MOP.
MOP, they was doing the joint.
Two pistols, you said.
Well, that came later on, but
okay.
I had a couple other people that was jumping on the joint too. It would have been crazy. I had a joint with Kiss, the All Up On Me joint that was bubbling in the streets. The joint to the chicks, they was feeling that. We could have shot a video to that. Got it buzzing. I had a song called Nobody with all three of them. All four, that would have killed the streets. I had another joint called Pay Attention for the Clubs. That would have went crazy. I had another joint DJ Premier did. That would have killed the Backpackers. We could have went in a lot of different routes. But they wasn't focused on me. They were too busy focusing on themselves because they were also solo artists at the same time. So that could have been the reason also, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to focus, we got to get where we need to go like type shit, you know what I mean? Even though this would be the right thing to do, put him out, we got to focus on ourselves. We got to get right.
They doing lock stuff, they doing Jada stuff, SP stuff,
Yeah.
Chic stuff, individual.
Right, in the meantime, like in the mix of doing that.
Yeah. Nah, that could be tough. I can see it.
And I just wasn't, I didn't look at it like that being young, you know what I mean? I didn't like really balance everything out and be like, you know what? Let me look at it from this perspective. These guys might be dealing with this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was more so on it like, you know what, man? My mom just be liver disease, bro. Straight up. I
Yeah.
need this bread. You got me out here competing with these dudes, Jewels, and all these other type of people. You talking about these are my competition. Nigga, I can't really, I could compete with them lyrically, but financially, nigga, I'm nowhere near them. You know what I mean? So let me at least put me in a situation where I can at least, the fight would be somewhat fair, because right now the fight ain't fair. And then even me and Luch was even going to get in a fist fight over that one time. And that's part of what, you know, made shit go sour as well. I told him one time during the meeting, we were speaking about the whole Jewels thing in different positions within labels and all that. He was telling me that Jewels was my competition. I was telling him no, he's not, because Jewels is a vice president over there. I'm just an artist over here, so he has actual power over here in the position. He was telling me that that label, that title, didn't really mean nothing. I was like, you could tell me that, But when that check come in, it's totally different from an artist check. You feel what I'm saying? And he didn't like that too much, and that stemmed to something else. And he said something. I was like, yo, man, whatever. He was like, what you mean, whatever? Like, he was looking for a reason to say something. You know what I mean? Like, me, Super Mario, SP, him, all was sitting down. Soon he said whatever, and what you mean whatever? I'm like, what you mean whatever? I'm thinking he's joking. I'm like, you serious? Like, what you mean whatever? I'm looking around, looking at everybody like, y'all see this nigga? Nobody said nothing. I'm like, what you mean? He like, yo, you saying whatever, like you want to fight or something? I'm like, what? I'm looking around, nobody said nothing. So I got up. I was about to leave because I'm like, yo, this can't be serious, you feel me? So I think SP or Super Mario grabbed me like, yo, Hoodie, just sit down, man. Let's just finish the meeting. Finished the meeting, and that just added on to shit just not being the same.
Dang.
It's an unfortunate situation, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think if I was a little bit more mature at the time, it could have been worked out. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it's nothing that couldn't have been repaired with a nice long talk.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But at the time, I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't mature enough to do that. I just put it like that. So I take that blame. I take the fault for that.
How long it took you to realize this?
That's how you know it's sincere, because I didn't feel like I was wrong for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, and when I finally went over there to the studio to talk to these guys, it was probably like, how long it been going on since? It was probably like 8 years after that.
7.
But I ended up going over there dolo though. You feel me? Like, I went over there to the studio dolo. First, I went to Kiss Block, looking for him. He wasn't there. Niggas looking around like, oh shit, he popped up. I'm like, yeah, nigga, what's popping? Where Kiss at? He ain't here. I'm like, all right, bet. Tell him I pull up. Nigga wasn't there. Ended up going to the hood over there. 354 Looch wasn't there. Ended up going to the studio. Polly with him. You know what I mean? He was shocked to see me. Sat down with him. And just got to speak my piece, man. Told him I apologize for the role that I played in, and I told him I should have, I owed them a little bit more respect than I showed them, even if I felt like they was wrong in a situation. I owned up to my part of it. I was like, you know what, I love y'all niggas. Y'all niggas gave me an opportunity to be heard on a larger scale than what I was being heard on.
Mm-hmm.
Spoke to SP, told him basically the same thing. It didn't get that as deep as it did with Sheik, because he interrupted me before. He was like, look, bro, shit happens. Niggas love you, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't holding out against you, my nigga. We shook on it. Niggas gave me a hug. And it was like, yo, just pull up on niggas. I mean, come check niggas. I ended up seeing Kiss in the club. I pulled up on him, spoke to him, said the same thing, man. Like, yo, dog, I owed y'all more respect than that. Shit should have never went the way it went. You know what I mean? That shit was whack. And I just want to apologize, you know what I'm saying? And I shook his hand, and we took a shot, and he said the same thing. Like, yo, I heard you came to the block looking for me. I'm like, yeah, nigga, nigga, I had to talk to y'all niggas, man.
Yeah.
We shook on it, and it was respect.
What made you make that decision though? As a man, we don't always. That's a very tough thing for us to apologize and to even go, to let your guard down and go back to the hood and be like, yo, I'm gonna go talk to these dudes by yourself too. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know what it is, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. First of all, life is short, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is too short for the egos. Life is too short to play the blaming game. You know what I mean? Like, everything. I lost my mom. I seen my mom die in front of my face, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? She, like, all of a sudden, to cancer. You know what I mean? She got diagnosed with cancer, and she died a month later. You know what I mean? I was with her in the hospital. So after seeing that, like, listen, nothing is.
Condolences.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Like, nothing is really, like, worth, like, holding on to after that. I'm like, you know what, man? I got tired of walking around with that cloud over my head. Like, just feeling like, yo, dog, I did some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I love these niggas. Even if I was wrong, even if I felt like they was wrong, that shit ain't cool, man. Let me go to these niggas and just clear the air, man. You know what I mean? Shit might not never be right, might not never be how it was, but I just need to show them that now I'm a total different person. I'm grown.
Wow.
And look, my nigga, like, I fucked up, bro. But I still respect y'all niggas. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all niggas. I will forever appreciate y'all niggas. And, I had to let them know. And they just say, yo, you can pull up and check niggas anytime, man. Like, come check niggas.
That's right.
So what's going on now?
I'm doing the independent thing. You know what I mean? I got my imprint, ODG Entertainment. I got a couple of projects that I put out. I I put out a album with Yuckmouth last year that got distributed through Empire. You know, I went over there to Cali. We shot 3 videos. He's like another real cool dude that showed me like a lot of love, showed me the game. So shout out to Yuckmouth, shout out to Smoke a Lot Records.
One mob, nigga.
Super cool. You know, I threw out a couple of independent albums right now. I got one out called The Fourth Lock. Got another joint out called Joshua, and I got another one coming out in a month or so called Pesci. You know, and that's a collaborative project that I have with another company out of upstate New York called Star Records. So it's a ODG Entertainment Star Records collaboration.
Is it hard? Is it hard being independent now from being
Definitely.
where you was?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think when you're trying to make that transition, it's just hard, period. But it's harder due to my situation and the way I handled, you know, what I was in. It made everything just a little bit, it was distasteful. You know what I mean? Like, so people that might want to rock with a nigga, they're slow to rock with a nigga because they don't want to feel like they're stepping on any toes. They want to make sure that it's like the air is like really, really clear. Like, you know what I mean? So like I was saying like earlier, like 60% of the game started acting a certain way towards me, and the other 40 kept it 100 and stayed neutral. But the 60, it's like I couldn't get a lot of stuff done. I couldn't like really get on the radio. You know what I mean? I had to like somewhat clean this shit up, clean some of the shit that fucked up. I had to clean it up. So like, it just took a while. So like just aside from being independent, I had to deal with that. So it's definitely hard.
You have any children?
Nah.
You got a wife, girl?
Nah.
Stop playing, man.
Not real shit. Not yet. I mean, next year hey, I'm getting up there, man. So I gotta do the damn thing.
You said nah.
Gotta do the damn thing.
So like when you took a break, so you went to go take care of Pops for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to you for that. And then like, did you end up getting a job, or you just doing what you doing?
Nah, I mean, I still make money doing my thing independently. Like, you know what I mean? Thank God for the internet. You know what I mean? So
respect. Do you think you got it for a battle?
Battles, I'm not.
You ever thought about that?
I'm not too thrilled about battling. I mean, I've been asked to do that, but
I mean,
like I did that a long time ago. Not saying that I'm too good for it now, but it's just like, first and foremost, I'm not one of them dudes that's gonna be like, man, I've been doing this shit. I'd go in there right now and be eating niggas. Look, bro, let these niggas do their thing that do that right now. Yeah. And I'll stay where I'm at, you feel what I'm saying? First, I'm not too big on the whole idea of being face to face, yelling at each other, spitting in each other's face and doing all that. I'm good, man.
You think you're the boss for it though?
Yeah, I definitely do. But I'm cool on that.
Respect.
You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody that do it though.
That's dope. That's dope.
I've been hearing a lot of y'all motherfucking battle niggas throw my name in y'all shit though, as of lately. I'm not gonna front, so I'll hear that shit.
Hopefully one day you just do an 8 bar. I'm joking. So, final thing, where do you want to see J Hood career go from here?
Man, I just want to reach my full potential, man, and blossom fully. You know what I mean? I want people to be able to look at me for what and who I really am, you know what I mean, and not the person who they think I am, which was, unfortunately, I've been carrying the label of being unloyal and all this other type of shit for a long time, you know what I mean, and that was like really never the case, you know what I mean, even though like people's opinion and what they say don't really bother me, I wouldn't like it to you know, I wouldn't like that to be the narrative, like, you know what I mean, that this person's like that, because that's not me, man. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to do my thing, put my music out, man, and, you know, let the people that don't know me, you know, feel like they know me a little bit more through the music and just be successful and stay out the way, man. You know what I mean? That's it.
Do you have anything like you want to promote? I know you just promoted the
Pesci album is on the way. Look out for that, man. My bro Stick right here coming out with his album and all that, man. Go ahead, plug that.
You already know Stick and Move, man.
Stick and Move.
Dropping late. It was supposed to be dropping actually the top of December and all that, but look out, man.
We'll see what happened. ODG Entertainment, you know what I mean? Star Records, the collaboration with Upstairs, my Rochester dude. You feel me? Like, everybody that support us, salute, man, and just look at my situation as a learning experience, you know what I mean? Like, shit happens, man. no one is exempt from going through shit. It's a real life motherfucking industry tale, man. Like hopefully, like I said, you can learn something from it. But follow a nigga on all social media at The Real J Hood. That's THAREAL J Hood. Fuck with a nigga, man. Shit real.
Why do you have Joe Pesci as your icon?
Well, I got Pesci in there because that's like a alter ego for me.
That's him.
You feel what I'm saying? Pesci is a short dude. He got the temper. I'm a short dude, and I'm been known to have a little temper, so it's like
Joe Pesci's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Shout out to the Locks too, man.
Definitely shout out to the Locks. Go get the new SP album out right now.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Anything
dope,
they got
man.
coming out in the future, go grab that.
Word up.
I can see y'all doing a record together again.
Hey, low key, man. That's the reunion that the streets really want. You know what I mean? Like low key. But hey, not saying that it will happen, not saying that it won't ever happen, but
It's what it is.
yeah.
It's what it is.
Sign out, G.
On that note, we signed out with the episode, man. Shout out to Maestros for sponsoring all the episodes. For the Script Podcast.
Pesci.
ODJ.
Pesci's coming out soon. Look out
ODG,
for that. Shout out to J Hud, man. The whole squad in the building. You know what I'm saying? At DJ G Money 156 on Instagram. At Flip the Script Pod. At Queens Flip with a Z. What happened? You alright, man?
Flip the script.
It's a funny ass guy right
It's funny.
there. He said y'all about to get real serious. Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
You already know what it is. ODG, man. Bang bang.
Gang.
Yo, what the fuck year you think we in doing some crazy shit like that, nigga? What the
Now I'm saying they gotta see the logo on the
Respect this
imprint.
shit. Why you did that, man?
Hey, ODG, man. You gotta see the logo.
Respect the ODG. Why the hell did you just do that, man?
You gotta see the logo.
That's some
man.
real ignorant smack DVD 1999 shit, bro.
Hey, man. Hey, the real ignorant shit would have been me wearing my shit outside of my jacket like some of these niggas be doing. I don't need it to be said like that.
That shit
You know
dumb.
what I
You
mean?
whack.
Give you a little glimpse
shit
of that
whack.
shit, right?
That shit stupid.
That's
That's
That
whack. When you start, yeah, shout out.
Niggas be doing that shit though. You feel me?
What is it called? Say ODG?
Yeah, on the grind.
ODG, on the grind entertainment.
That's
You
fine.
don't gotta
man.
rap to be on the grind. You can sell waters on the side of the highway. You can sell box.
Facts.
You can do anything you want, as long
Yeah,
as you taking care of your family and doing what you gotta do to get the bread.
Whatever you do to
ODG,
put
man.
that food on that table.
ODG PBP, man. Paper before pussy. You feel me? That's what we live by, man.
G, it's too late, G. Don't hype that nigga, G. Don't hype him. I know you.
Fact. PBP, man. Paper before pussy, man. Grind hard to find
G,
God,
G,
but with it
G.
some more from us, man.
What does that mean? Paper before pussy.
Hey, man, that's the lifestyle. That's the way of thinking. You gotta think like that. Some niggas say money over bitches.
Bros before hoes.
Yeah, bros before hoes, all that. We paper before pussy. You can't, what you gonna do if you ain't got no paper? You ain't getting no pussy, man.
That's a fact.
He cool,
Yo,
man.
that nigga cool, man. He pulled a chain out of the middle of the joint, man.
That's why. It's cool. Paper before.
Nah, you
Yeah.
fine, man. Shout out to my man, J Hill. Y'all appreciate you coming up, man. Shout out to
it's
the bros
love,
one more
man.
time, please. Just shout everybody out in the building.
Hey, shout out to this funny ass nigga right here. You know what I mean? Shout out to the both of y'all guys for having me up here. Appreciate it, man. Shout
I
out to
appreciate you.
Appreciate
keeping
you.
your
Good
word.
looking. Good looking.
shout out to my homie C. You know what I mean? Star Records. Shout out to my bro right here, Stick Man,
Down.
and
The other man too. Wait.
yeah, the nigga Tree.
The nigga
I don't know
Tree
where that
out
nigga
there.
at.
Doubt. They try to get my
Yeah.
man. They try.
Up
Yeah.
here.
Hey, in the
Hey, yo, they
back.
try-
That nigga in the cut underneath the band-aid trying not to get infected.
Oh, see, I should have
Oh,
saved it.
yeah.
Hey, cool, right?
Yeah, I got shit for y'all, man. You know, it's the same old two-step, different dance floor for y'all niggas, man. We out here, man.
Oh.
Now he want to get. See, that's number 3. Man. I can't give him too much. That's 3 mental.
Yeah, my
T-
shit
yeah.
trademark. All rights reserved, man.
TMS trying to get weed from that.
See that? Look, already he just called me the other day saying he changed his life around. He's so good.
They
Now
trying to get weed. Yeah,
already.
TMS is a bug out.
Damn, man.
Fuck.
If y'all see TMS anywhere outside of here, don't just tell him to walk away. Just tell him no. Don't give him
No
anything,
weed.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
don't-
bug
if
out,
you ever
yeah.
see him outside of the studio, nah, we can't do it. G Money and Flip said we can't do it. Please, we be trying to get him on the.
We're gonna end up dealing with
Straight
it.
and narrow.
Yeah, because he been kind of going off the road on the other side of the highway, going this way.
I would
This
have
way.
called y'all niggas. Y'all would have had to come pick that nigga up, man. I ain't with that shit. Y'all niggas bugging out, man. But yo, we appreciate y'all pulling up, man. G Money sign out.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, sound already. Yeah.
Yo, it's Queens Flip URLTV.tv. Hold on. Let me sign up, man. Damn, huh?
Nah, I'm thinking y'all niggas, you know what
No,
I mean?
You're part of the sun out, man.
Okay.
Yeah, URLTV.tv, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't plugging in the volume, man, but I'm plugging in the motherfucking brand. Y'all know what's coming up, man. You know, Shout out to J Hood. I think it's a dope episode. Classic, man. I like the part where he got serious and moved forward. That shit was mad funny to me.
Yo, nah, this nigga, what you squinting at? Man? Let me put the computer down.
Yeah.
Hold up, man.
That's like, salute, man. You know, I have love for everybody. Don't ever, no, like.
I know.
Yeah, no disrespect as far as like trying to question who you are.
Somebody questioned me coming up here though. I'm not gonna say who the person is.
What they were saying.
Somebody was like, yo, man, you gonna go up there for real? I'm like, yeah, why not? He like, yo, man, that nigga gonna try to, you know what I mean? That nigga gonna try to like make you look a certain way or try to paint a certain picture. I'm like, look, nobody can make me look any type of way. And
nah,
plus,
you handle yourself.
I don't get that vibe from him. Like, you know what I mean?
You handle yourself well though. I mean, I say things and you know what I mean. Anybody who's a businessman knows my objective or why I do things the way I do. It's just a business, man. At the end of the day, our intentions are never to make anybody feel less of a man or try to play niggas, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not what we trying to do, man. Because none of us going to leave out of here anyway because there's a lot of y'all niggas. And I'm not playing with y'all niggas. Yeah, big nigga named C. He ain't never got to do. You got tree.
Look, see, tree.
You know, Stick will come to the front. What's up? I ain't with none of that crazy man shit, man. Now, but salute to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming out, man. Remember, lock your doors, close your windows, close your blinds, open your blinds. And if you see a nigga like J Hood on your lawn, you don't need a firearm. Let him in. He don't mean no harm. But ring the alarm because that nigga turn on you in the drop of a dime. But
Bullshit.
nah. Let him in. He don't mean no harm. I'm from Queens.
Oh, man.